When the knots of the heart are unbound, then even here in this life, in this moment, the soul enjoys bliss in the midst of change. It's from Katha Upanishad, one of the ancient yoga teachings. Now, whether you've described your problem as knots of the heart, it's an experience that we all know. When the knots of the heart are knotty, we experience reactivity, trauma, karma, these kind of patterns that tangle up our life. Now, what the sages tell us is that the energy and awareness of existence, which is really right now, with this very breath flowing into your system, that energy and that wisdom, that intelligence gets bottlenecked, it gets twisted, it gets cramped, it gets distorted. And therefore, we begin to have experiences of dis-ease, of struggle, of suffering, whether it's physically, psychologically, emotionally, interpersonally, even financially, professionally, and even collectively in the ways that we treat each other and destroy our planet. So we need to get to the root of the issue. We need to loosen, unbound the knots at the root. Now, all the scientists and the sages are agreeing on one thing. They're agreeing that the closer we can get to the root of any issue, the more profound the healing and the more pervasive the ramifications, the effects of that healing are in our life. So where's the root? That's the question. Where's the root? And this is where the wisdom, insights, the discoveries, the revelations of the yogis and of the mystics around the world are so valuable, and also where they challenge our current view. Before there was medical scanning technologies, these yogis, these masters of meditation, turned inward. They turned the power of the mind to see, to feel, to know inward, to explore the depths of our human embodiment. And what they experienced was that our embodiment is vast, and it extends into a subtle and super subtle anatomy of embodied consciousness that poetically, metaphysically can be described as a tree of life. You've heard of it, the tree of life. It's inside you. It contains chakras, or cerebral spinal centers of energy and information. One great sage, our spiritual great-grandfather in the Kriya lineage, Paramahansa Yogananda, the author of Autobiography of a Yogi, he wrote that the awakening of these occult or hidden cerebral spinal centers, these chakras or astral lotuses, is the sacred goal of the yogi. The sacred goal of the yogi. It's not relaxation. It's much, much deeper than that. It's to turn inward and return to the very subtle and super subtle roots of our trauma and karma in the chakras of the subtle body. And from there we can heal, awaken, and balance them. So the roots of our trauma and our karma is not in our personal history. It's not even in our ancestral history. It's carried in the chakras of our subtle body. And I think if we hear that, it can sound like a very radical statement, one that runs counter to the basic tenet of most philosophies and psychologies, which is that life is happening from the outside in. And what the sages have discovered and declared around the world is the opposite. that life unfolds from the inside out. It arises from the subtlest inner depths and is then expressed in the visible surface. So everything starts at the root, and it's radical. That's what root means. Root means, that's what radical means. It means getting to the root. To be radical means not to go wild, but to go deep, to get to the root. And that's the radical invitation of Chakra School, which is the expression of a many thousand-year-old yoga lineage, updated for our time in need, a time where we are being called, each of us, to get to the root and to do the healing at the deepest level. I hope you'll join us.